大学院呢，建于北海之滨，由庄周、夫子、墨子三贤者所创立，以有无相生的观念，培养了不少英雄。
比如说我，天才少年东方耀。
Alright, first of all, a quick shout out to Tencent, the Chinese folks behind PUBG. They're not sponsoring this video or anything, but a few months ago, the fine folks behind that game announced a Souls-like, open-world monster hunter-ish kind of project going by Honor of Kings world. Now, this is actually a crossover to another game by the company with the same name that has like over 100 million daily users and acting as a sequel with the extra world. All we know right now is that the game is coming to all consoles and PCs, possibly sometime next year. So keep it in mind.
充满了力量。破魔之剑，快呀，就是现在！ 竟然还会这种！支持！风暴龙王怎么会出现在地下？快闪开！王者峡谷究竟发生了什么？
Let's hope those terraformers don't wake up before I finish the job, so I can pick you all up. Assuming you find Agent Sienna. And she's still alive.
Coming up at number 2, we got Hubris, a VR shooter though at heart with an episodic structure, the first episode of which, come to mention, after years of anticipation came our way no more than a few months ago. It's actually been sitting on Steam for free ever since. Honestly, I don't know much to go on with Hubris over here as of this moment, other than the fact that it's visually divine in terms of graphics and that the game in its full is set to be coming out in only a few months from now, so just keep it in mind.
Remember, recruit, you're part of the Triple-O now, under the wings of the mightiest fleet the galaxy has ever seen. But here, within the Twin Planet system, you're on your own.
As in the case of Avatar though, Ubisoft just came out with the news that the game is still on its track for releasing later this year. Now, this news actually comes from a couple of weeks ago, and since we haven't seen no actual gameplay of it in the meantime, there's actually a good chance that Avatar will get delayed to sometime next year. Frontiers of Pandora, which was announced almost 5 years ago, is an open-world action RPG at heart, in case you didn't know, a next-generation console game only.
Story of a girl. I was her loudest scream, her most painful moment.
For those of you unfamiliar, since the Steam Game Fest kicked off a few days ago, we finally came across a project that actually garnered a lot of hype when it was revealed, going by Blacktail, an action-adventure game based on Slavic legends of the Baba Yaga, some sort of witch in Slavic, I guess, where you get to experience a one-of-a-kind blend of archery combat and dark storytelling, where you could choose your path to become either the Guardian of the Woods or the Terror. Take a look. The game's available through a playable demo right now, but the full game is coming out possibly sometime next year.
Again, and again, and again, and again. Finally, I can feel something.
Prime Matter Publishers just released a free demo for the last recrew just a few days ago. I'm not sure if it's gonna last more than 48 more hours, so just hurry up, I guess, in case you are hyped. Game's a third-person action RPG, if you could tell, that puts you in the middle of an ongoing conflict in a medieval / science fiction sci-fi universe where every decision you will make will have an impact on the story. Check it out, the game in its full is set to be coming out later this year into PCs and the next generation consoles only.
As long as I can remember, I have looked for an equal.
Marvel's Spider-Man 2, on the other hand, just got a new leak from Sony that it's actually gonna hit the PlayStation 5 in the latter half of 2023. Other than that, we've heard nothing about the sequel, nor have we seen anything other than the reveal trailer, but here's the good news, I guess. A PlayStation State of Play is gonna happen next month, I mean really soon, in maybe a few weeks, and we're probably gonna hear more about this one, in addition to Wolverine and some other games as well, so just keep it in mind for now.
Yes, we will.
Moving on, Blind Descent is a multiplayer open world, obviously survival game where up to 4 players can play together. It's on the planet Mars and like 50 years into the future. It sounds like a really fun game in my opinion. The premise is also not that bad. It's you and these other people that are stuck in some sort of underground cave and basically trying to make your ways up and survive on the surface. Now check it out. This game's set to be coming to PCs only early next year. One of the most popular franchises of all time, probably, that goes back to almost 2 decades ago, Saints Row, or practically speaking, the new game in the making in its series with the same name, which was announced around like 2 years ago, is now scheduled to come out August 23 this year, and hitting consoles and PCs both generation. Here's the thing, if you do prefer your Grand Theft Auto games with a dash too much comedy, to be honest, and some madness and surrealism, Saints Row over here is definitely the one you should keep an eye out for. So just take a look.
with an ETA of 11:47.
Shut up! Why the hell should I believe you all?
We've got 30 seconds. Let's go.
30 seconds to what?
And then it's total Biap his dad, son. That's what.
Probably the single most anticipated AAA game when it comes to post-apocalyptic games, although set in the past, and all set within an open world. We're talking about Atomic Heart. Well, here's the good news. Atomic Heart will now be released for PCs and consoles both generations and due out in the final quarter of 2022. Word says we're gonna have another trailer for the game release soon, but in case you've actually missed out on the update, here's the new one.
Are out of control. They're killing everyone.
We know who's behind this.
You have to stop this nightmare now.
Humanity is doomed to eternal slavery. In 2 days, he will become unstoppable.
Do not believe him.
I don't even know who to believe anymore.
You've got 2 days, son. Don't let me down.
Alright, so coming up at number 10, we have what's described by its developers as a fast-paced strategy game, well obviously an action game as well, taking a few clues from a few games such as Dead Rising, Devil May Cry, and Grand Theft Auto even. There's more. See, Showa American Story, which was announced a few months ago by the Chinese developers, is now rumored to be coming to PCs and the PlayStation consoles only either late 2022 or early 2023. So keep it in mind. The day before is slated for release on PCs and the next generation of consoles June 21st this year. Here's the thing for those of you new. This game at its core is an open world MMO survival, much in the same vein as a Division game, so obviously it comes with elements of PvP and PvE, but also a 4-player co-op. Not to mention there's a lot of hype going around with this game since its last trailer. Here's another trailer though the fine folks at the team just came up with to make even more hype. We have Pal World, which is a mix of Minecraft and creature collecting games such as Pokemon, a survival game at heart, open world as you might have suspected, a multiplayer one too. This game is scheduled to be released this year on PCs through Steam, and the announcement, for those of you new, actually comes from a little less than a couple of months ago, so just take a look.
The major factions enjoy an uneasy peace, but the settled systems is still pretty dangerous.
Y'all familiar with the term cyberpunk, right? Well, I kind of doubt if you've ever heard about NASA punk, which is what Bethesda describes what Starfield's aesthetic is actually based on. Starfield is right now Bethesda's longest anticipated space exploration RPG, well, simply the longest game in development, and going back to almost 20 years ago. Now, this game is a Microsoft exclusive, meaning it is coming to PCs and Xbox consoles only, and that will be November 11th this year.
And would-be gods. Seen friends lose life and limb.
Alright, so as in the case of Dragon Age 4, we do know that the development on the new game is actually going really well, and that it should actually come out in the next 15 months. For those of you who actually didn't know, Dragon Age 4 has been in development since 4 years ago and acting as a fourth main game in the Dragon Age franchise of action RPGs. Check it out.
The kind of person they'll never see coming. We've got your back. I've got your back. Demons, dragons, darkspawn. Even the Dreadwolf.
This is definitely the most heartbreaking news you're gonna hear this entire year, probably, when it comes to the gaming world. Stalker 2 Hearts of Chernobyl, which was actually the first game in this list to be released this year, is now postponed to December 8th. Developers behind the Stalker franchise just came out and said, and I quote, "The future is a bit unknown for the Ukrainian people and of course by extension the studio as well, which is actually based in Kiev, that will be the capital of Ukraine." Man, I just wish that this nonsense was just over already before it gets ugly. On a personal note, this really breaks my heart because I have a few friends in Ukraine. And alright, let's just get back to the list.
Вот ты говоришь, а я прям вижу красоту эту. Не первый год в зоне, вроде примелькалась уже, а каждый день удивляет.
Зона надоесть не может. Говорят, ты знаешь, где вход в фундамент.
Тише, тише.
Who are you, child? My name is Frey Holland. I do not know how I got here. And all I want is to go home.
We have Forspoken, formerly known as Project Athia. We know that this game is now coming out on May 24th this year and into the PlayStation 5 in addition to PCs. If you like action RPGs, stuff like Final Fantasy XIV, if you have ever played that game, parkour even, Forspoken over here is definitely one of the top 5 PlayStation 5 exclusive that you could keep in mind come May 2022. Here's the new trailer.
You who set this battle in motion.
How do you plead?
Not guilty.
Lies! She dies!
A little bit over than a week ago, Tango Gameworks, also Bethesda, finally revealed that Ghostwire Tokyo will be released worldwide, and it's actually going to be a PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X consoles and PCs game come March 25 this year. 22 actually now. This news actually came our way with a deep dive trailer that gives you an idea for the gameplay mechanics and whatever to expect in Ghostwire Tokyo. The game itself, in case you're wondering, is an action adventure, at heart semi-open world first-person player. Check it out.
Critical work. People always decry the truth when forced to face it. Still your fear. I will be her salvation.
Mari!
The time is nigh. The world rests on the precipice of transformation.
have Phantom Galaxies. That is a combination of open-world action RPGs with a fast-paced mech shooting element. Now, it's a story-driven game at heart. I don't know much more than that about this game, other than the fact that kind of reminds me of Daemon X Machina from Bandai Namco earlier a couple of years ago. Take a quick look. This game is actually coming to PCs only for now. We hear sometime soon.
For sheer raw destructive strength.
Moving on, it's Sky, with an E. Touted as a relaxing exploration game where you venture into a world inspired by the Western Isles. Now, exploration part of the game actually comes in flying over with a turboprop aircraft, as you could tell, where you mostly do help the locals with their troubles, in addition to some races. Now, the good thing about Sky over here is that it's a free-to-play game and has been sitting on Steam for over 2 years now, with a very positive review score as well, so give it a shot. Last but not least, we have Corsair's Legacy. What's described by its developers to be a pirate open-world RPG where you're going to experience sea battles, a lot of them, island exploration, and countless adventures. It's with some of those endless dungeon kind of formulas. We'll take a look. This game is coming to PCs on Steam, we hear, very soon.